for the Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder's Office, and we're going to talk to you today about the impact of your vote and National Voter Registration Day. Jeff, did you want to say hello?
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me here, Monique, and thanks to the City of Long Beach. Always great to collaborate and talk about ways to get people more engaged in the election, let people know about their voting options, and how they can engage their own communities and their neighbors.
So today's presentation, we really want to talk to everybody about registering to vote and what you can do for September 22nd, which is National Voter Registration Day. Either you yourself can register to vote, or you can help somebody that you know who is not registered register to vote today. So why is it important to register to vote? In your elections, your choice can affect your day-to-day living. For example, in local elections, you can see that your vote affects schools, it affects parks, and the money that they spend and how they spend it, and your representatives on your school board and street repairs, your police and fire. These are things that your local elections control. For state elections, you can see that the choices you make affect universities, the DMV, disability services. And on a federal level, it affects the larger issues, foreign policy, homeland security, social security. So your choice is incredibly important on all levels when you vote.
So for Los Angeles County as a whole, we are the largest voting jurisdiction in the country. We have approximately 5.6 million registered voters, and that's out of an eligible population of 6.1 million. I know there's just over 260,000 registered for Long Beach, but when we look at the county as a whole and really the direction that all of California is going, we are closing that gap of eligible but unregistered voters, and that is a credit to the success of automatic voter registration that you may have experienced if you've gone to the DMV recently, and a lot of the active work that many people, maybe who are watching this presentation, who have participated in. One thing we really want to stress and focus on is how do we get to 100% eligible population registered, and I think a lot of the work where we engage the communities, hopefully some of the tips you'll take back with you today will really help to narrow that gap and really give people who are eligible but not registered ways to register to vote. You can assist them with registering, and that is something that we can all work together towards.
So you can see in Long Beach, we have an increase in voter turnout over the last couple of years, specifically starting in 2020 or 2018, the consolidated November election. But, you know, you can see the trend after we consolidated with the county is increasing, which is the goal of consolidation. When we went with the county and we only have one election day instead of 2 or 3 sprinkled throughout the year, I think this is a good sign. We want people to be engaged in the electoral process, and we want more people to be involved in the decision-making process. And you can see that our trend is increasing, which is a good thing, not only for the city of Long Beach, but for the state and for, nationwide. More people engaged is better for everyone.
Okay, so what can you do starting to be civically engaged, or really to help others be civically engaged? And so the first step is registering to vote or registering other people to vote. In order to be eligible to vote, you have to be a US citizen and you have to be at least 18 years of age. If you are 16 or 17 years old, you can do what's called pre-registration, which allows someone to register, and as soon as they become 18, they would automatically be moved to the eligible voter population. And this is great because it doesn't require someone to re-register once they turn 18. A lot of times people have a lot going on during that year where they're becoming 18, they might be moving to college, or they may be sort of transitioning out of high school and entering various aspects of our society. So allowing the registration at 16 or 17 to really get someone involved and invested in the electoral process at a younger age. What we are trying to encourage everyone to do is use online voter registration, which you can access at lavote.net, and the Secretary of State's website also has online voter registration. But we want to stress in the current pandemic environment to use online voter registration. Paper applications are available, and you can register with a paper application. And there are some people who do need to use a paper application for a variety of different reasons. Number one, the main reason is if you would like to update your signature, using a paper application is the best method. And that is really important because for the upcoming election, and we will address this later in the presentation, everyone will receive a vote by mail ballot. And when you return that vote by mail ballot, we will be checking your signature to validate the ballot. So you can pre-register, as mentioned, at 16 or 17 years of age. It's the same process as registering to vote. And if you go to the online voter registration, you select whatever age you are, and that allows someone, once they become 18, to transition into that eligible voter population. And it's something we really want to encourage. In fact, if you're interested in setting up a voter registration drive at your high school, that is something you can do, and it's a great way to connect with your peers. Also, if you are a U.S. citizen, as soon as you become a citizen, you can register to vote. In the non-pandemic time, we had voter registration opportunities at the naturalization ceremonies, but currently, due to the pandemic, there's no ceremonies going on. I believe a lot of it is migrated to a virtual experience. But we do want to encourage anyone who has become a U.S. citizen to register and do that through the online voter registration, lavote.net, or you can see the website for the state's statewide registration. Also, you can request a voter registration form. There's the phone number, 562-570-6101. And then also you can register to vote through our conditional voter registration process in person at a vote center up through Election Day. All right, so talking a little more about some of the eligibility criteria. So there's a lot of information out there around if you've been if you are a justice involved individual, meaning you have had some connection to the justice system, whether you've been incarcerated or maybe you're on probation or so forth. So there's a lot of various details when we get into that. The sort of the rule of thumb is if you are serving a felony sentence at a state or federal level prison, you are ineligible to vote during that time until you completed your parole. At the county level, which is who we interact with primarily, you retain your right to vote unless you happen to be serving that state or federal level felony sentence at a local county jail. We do offer a program for individuals who are incarcerated to register them to vote, and also provide a ballot to anyone in the jails who are incarcerated, and also individuals who may leave and they're on probation or under mandatory supervision. There's a number of other statuses, not to get too far into the details, but sort of the rule that I like to promote is if you're not sure if you're eligible, just go ahead and register. If it turns out you're not eligible, we will not process the voter registration form. But rather than having everyone having to know what those specifics are, getting into a lot of those details, you can use sort of what I just explained as a guide, and then just encourage registration overall.
So step 2, make a plan. The most important thing to do for an election and for you to be successful on election day is to make a plan. Review your sample ballot booklet. Know before you're casting your vote who you want to vote for. Educate yourself so that you can make an informed decision. And this can be having conversations with family, with friends, maybe looking up information online, knowing what's going to be available on your ballot to vote on so that you can do a little bit of research, but make a plan. Know what you want to do, know how you want to vote. In this time of pandemic, we are encouraging everybody to vote by mail. That is the safest way to vote during this election. But if you do want to go to a vote center, have a plan and know which vote center is nearest you, know how you want to drop off your vote by mail ballot or how you're going to get to a vote center once you make that determination on how you're going to vote this election.
So everyone will receive a vote by mail ballot. You do not need to apply. Again, this is the safest method to vote, as Monique explained. You have several options for returning your vote by mail ballot. Vote by mail ballots will go out on October 5th, and you can return it either by mail, and it is postage paid. Just make sure it's postmarked by election day. If you're worried about the time it takes for the ballot to reach the county elections offices, county's elections officials have until 17 days following the election to receive your ballot. So if you mail it on election day, we will receive it in time. Again, make sure it is postmarked if you do mail it on election day. And then you may also drop your vote by mail ballot off at any vote by mail drop box around LA County. We will have 400 of them throughout LA County, but specific to Long Beach, there will be 17 vote by mail drop boxes. And then also you may visit any vote center and drop your ballot off at a ballot box at a vote center. We will have 800 of them and a good number of those vote centers in Long Beach itself. If you would like to vote in person as early as possible, you can come down to the Norwalk headquarters and we will be open 29 days before the election for voting purposes. If you would like to vote in person at a vote center around LA County, we will have some vote centers open beginning October 24th, 75 total around LA County. And then on October 30th, the rest of our vote centers will be open, and that will be for 5 days. And you can show up at any vote center in LA County, including any of the ones in Long Beach, and vote in person there. And for individuals who vote in person, we have something called an interactive sample ballot. This was very popular in the primary. You may have used it or you may have heard about it. This is something that's very easy to use. You go on our website at isb.lavote.net and you complete your sample ballot. It's an electronic version of your sample ballot. You generate something called a poll pass, and you can see on the right there's a QR code. So you generate that poll pass or that QR code, and then when you get to an in-person vote center and you go up to the voting device, you will scan that poll pass and it'll pre-populate your ballot. One thing we like to stress is it's not your vote. You can make all the changes you want. You're not stuck with whatever you completed through that poll pass, but it is an expedited process. And a lot of people, if they were there a few minutes ahead of time, they filled out their ISB or interactive sample ballot, and they were able to expedite their voting process. All right, so the next step is voting. Right, so you've prepared, you know where to vote, you've gotten your information. If you send your ballot off by mail, you can sign up for a program called Where's My Ballot. It's a statewide program. It allows you to track your ballot along the way. You sign up for this and you will get notifications along the way as your ballot sort of goes through the process, whether it's the mail process or if you drop it off at a vote by mail drop box, it'll alert you when it's received by county elections officials and so forth. And if you do drop off your ballot at a vote by mail drop box, this is what the drop box will look like. These are specific to the LA County Registrar's Office. Only our staff will be the ones to empty the drop boxes. We will be emptying them on a regular basis and securely transporting those ballots to our vote by mail processing center. This is one method you can use to return your vote by mail ballot. Again, you can return it by mail and also in person at a vote center. We will have, again, 400 of these, 17 of them in Long Beach, but 400 of them around LA County. There'll be a lookup tool on LAVote.net, and you will also be notified of the nearest drop boxes to your registered address once you receive your vote by mail packet.
And you can drop off your vote by mail ballot at any of these drop boxes. It doesn't have to be the one closest to your home. It could be anywhere in LA County. If there's one close to your work, use that one. Long Beach will also have a drive-up drop-off box at Cal State Long Beach in parking lot G12. So I would encourage anybody who doesn't want to get out of their car, maybe who has a disability, to use that location as a drive-through drop-off in Long Beach.
All right, and as mentioned, you can vote in person if you would prefer to do that. Again, we are promoting vote by mail as the safest option during the pandemic because you just vote and drop off your ballot without having to interact or go out into a public facility. But if some people prefer or require in-person service, you'll also be able to look up a vote center based on an address. If you want to look it up nearest to your home address, you can do that, nearest to your work. Whichever location you would like to vote at, you can vote at any of these around LA County. You will also be notified on your sample ballot of a few of the nearest vote centers, and also you will receive a booklet in the mail that lists all 800 vote centers around LA County.
Now with these vote centers, just want to reiterate that there will be social distancing at these vote centers. So the machines will be 6 feet apart. The vote center workers will be practicing safe conditions. The machines will be wiped down. A mask will be required for vote center workers to wear so that everybody can stay safe and healthy and vote.
Okay, so what else can you do to stay engaged and get involved? You can register your relatives, your neighbors, your friends, your community, attend various community meetings, city meetings. You can also become an election worker if you go to LAVote.net. There's a way to sign up for that. And I know for Long Beach, there's some specific ways if you are a resident, or even if you're not a resident of Long Beach, but to get really involved in the municipal government there.
Absolutely. City council meetings are all streamed online. You can watch them. You can watch historical meetings. You can watch current live meetings. You can participate in the meetings. We encourage anybody who's interested in local government to go to longbeach.gov/cityclerk and take a peek around and see how you want to get engaged. And you're always welcome to call our office if you're interested in how you can be more engaged, and we can help you with that process.
Okay, so as mentioned, you can apply to become an election worker. We really encourage everyone interested to become an election worker. The requirements are you have to be at least 18 years of age or older. If you are 16 or 17 years old, you can actually participate in our high school student election worker program. So you can go on our website and get more information about that. We have a very robust high school program, several thousand high school students every election participate in an election. It's a great way to get community service hours and also make a little bit of money because just like all other election workers, high school students participating will get paid as well. You do have to be a resident of California. You have to be a registered voter, or you can actually possess legal permanent resident status, sometimes referred to as green card holder. That is a great way for someone who is interested in participating but is not yet able to vote. You can work at a vote center and help other people vote. So we really want to encourage individuals to become election workers. As mentioned, we have 800 vote centers around LA County, so I'm sure you can imagine we will need a lot of people to help and help run those vote centers.
So here are some of the important upcoming dates that we want you to remember, September 22nd is National Voter Registration Day. Sample ballot booklets begin being mailed out on September 24th through October 13th. And your vote by mail ballot is going to be mailed out starting October 5th. October 19th is the last day to register to vote. And you can expect the vote centers to open on October 24th through November 3rd, and Election Day is November 3rd. So we really want everybody to take the pledge to be vote ready this election. What that means is you're going to pledge to register to vote yourself, to help somebody register to vote, or to spread the word about registering to vote. It's incredibly important that people understand that in order to make a difference, you have to exercise your right to vote. And the first step in that process is registering. So please make the pledge, take a moment, sign up, and be vote ready for the November 3rd election. To stay connected to any upcoming news or events for the election, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also follow the county at lavote.net and stay up to date with all the news that's happening in the world of elections. November 3rd is going to be an incredibly important election, and we'd like everybody to stay informed. Jeff, do you have any last minute thoughts?
No, I just want to thank you for the time, and thank you to everyone who tuned into this to get this vital information. Just like the city of Long Beach, the LA County Registrar's Office is on all the social media platforms, so please follow us as well. One thing we know about today's environment, with a lot of news and information floating out and about through the digital networks, what people trust the most is information from cities like Long Beach and from the Registrar's Office. So we really want to encourage everyone to follow both of our entities on social media, share our information, inform your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, and we can all work to keep everyone well informed.